Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I'm ready. Shalom. All praises be to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. I want to say shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, who we endure all things for. Shalom to all the Akim, Wa Akwathim, who believe on Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Until the bitter end, I say once again, shalom. So it was my spirit to want to talk about exhortation, especially amongst the faith, especially those who know they're Israelites and are enduring to the bitter end of this evil, wicked captivity that we're currently in, which is in Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, the mother of all abominations of this earth. And we happen to be here, unfortunately, because of our sins, our disobedience. But fortunately enough, we were given a chance to be redeemed, to receive salvation before all the destruction and all the wrath that the Lord is going to bring upon this earth. And only a select few of people are actually going to receive that thing. And it's a very special thing because it's not something to be taken very lightly. You know, that's why we need encouragement every single day. Some days are better than other days, but shout out to the brother in Chicago, the brother Yaramiah, who says, every day in the world is a bad day, but every day in the truth is a good day, roughly paraphrasing. And it makes perfect sense. Let me get straight into it. It's not going to take too long. My phone is at 19% battery, so I'm going to work with what I got. 1 Corinthians 14 and 3. Adon Ratazak, this is edifying. I'm able to uplift you, Akim, and few sisters. Shalom to Angel Padilla, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Barakatah Malak. 1 Corinthians 14 and 3. But he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification and exhortation and comfort. And that's what we were supposed to be doing out in the highways and hedges, which Adon Ratazak, I'll be able to go out there tomorrow in the morning. The reason why we go out to the highways and hedges is to prophesy, to exhort, to comfort, to give our people the knowledge, wisdom, and insight as to how they can get redeemed before all the wrath and all the destruction that the Lord is going to bring upon this earth before it actually happens, that they can get saved. You know, Lord's will, of course. It's not up to us. It's up to the Lord whether or not somebody gets saved. Again, but he that prophesieth, when you say something before it actually happens, speak it unto men to edification, to give them the ability to learn new knowledge, something that they may have not known, something that may prevent them from being ignorant on something. Any small or big matter, it doesn't matter. Like it talks about in the book of Sirach. Let me get it actually. Sirach 5 and 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. And what it means to be ignorant is just means to be simply not knowing. But most people get offended when they're told, oh, you're ignorant about something, or she's ignorant, or he's ignorant. I remember literally just doing the other day, not the other day, but a few years back, Shalom to Tawad Judah, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Barakatah Akia. When I was working at Blink Fitness, this was back in 2000, what was it? 2022, 2023, around there. I literally got in trouble because I called a woman, a female coworker, ignorant. Bro, you know how crazy that is? It just means to not know something. It's not like this, like I'm coming at you a specific way, like I'm telling you, you're the worst thing going on this earth. No, it just simply means you don't know about something. There's things I'm ignorant to. And you, Akim, a few sisters that are ignorant to a few things too. I'm ignorant to a few things. So it's not like, I'm coming at a person. Like, that's just wild, bro. And to this day, it's like, really? Like, this is what I'm getting in trouble for? People are easily, man, I can go into a whole dialogue about it, but the point is, to be edified is to be in the knowledge of something that you don't know about. And exhortation, to encourage, to motivate, to bring forth, to exert, energy, to give somebody that oomph, so to speak, that influence, that inspiration and comfort, because we need these words from the Lord himself to be comforted. There's no other way on this earth we can get comforted but by the word of the Lord. Nothing else can do that besides the words of the Lord. Is very comforting. It's very relaxing when you know that the prophecies that were written aforetime were written for our learning, and knowing that all these different prophecies are actually playing out right before our very eyes. There's no way we can say the Lord doesn't exist, because he's showing everything that he said was going to happen in the last days. That's just one example of how the Lord is truly in the ruler of the kingdom of men. Verse 4, he that speaketh in an unknown tongue edifieth himself, but he that prophesied edifieth the church. And it's all about bringing down the strongholds out in the highways and hedges, bidding our people, the Israelites, back to the marriage, because our people are just lost sheep. They're likened unto lost sheep, and a lost sheep, a sheep in general, just needs a shepherd, because a sheep is going to go astray. They're going to probably fall into a river, fall into a lake, and God knows what, a lion or something is going to devour them completely. Like it talks about. Let me get it actually. And we have to stay girded up in the spirit. And I'm speaking for myself. I'm never speaking to the choir. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. The spiritual demon Satan is all over the place, and he's looking to find and trip you up. Myself, all the Akim, all the sisters, everybody in Israel that's sincere in the truth, you're being looked upon by Satan himself to see if he can get into you and see if he can literally remove you from your tracks. Yo, shalom to Tahamam Lab, Yahweh Bashim Shai, Brakatah Malak. And it's no joke. This is some serious stuff. And that's why the Lord expects us to really take this thing seriously, because there's not, at the end of the day, the Lord is the one who has the last say in what goes on this earth. And if you're on the right hand side, you're on the best hand side. If you're on the left hand side, you're going to get thrown into dust. And that's why we have to encourage ourselves every day, because once you're in this truth, there's no going back. And when you look at how the things are, Alexa, stop. When you see how the world is right now, it's clear that we're at the very end of the end. It's not like, oh, we see a few things here and there now, and prophecies are just minute and minuscule. No, all you have to do is a little bit of your due diligence. Look at the news domestically, internationally. You hear about the wars and rumors of wars. You hear about the great division in Babylon the Great. Democrats and Republicans, the rich versus the poor, different nations against different nations. The money, the monetary value of the dollar plummeting. And we hear about what's going on in the Middle East, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And just recently, if I'm not mistaken, Israel either bombed or they're attempting to bomb Russia, Gog and Magog, and Russia's going to do the same thing right back to the Israeli state. Iran does not want any interest in what's going on with the United States as it regarding like peace treaties and wanting to hear different negotiations. So all you have to do is decipher what's going on internationally, wherever, and look at the scriptures. Look at Ezekiel 35, Ezekiel 38, Revelation 18, Revelation 21. Yo, shalom to Ashemaiah, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Barakatah Malak. Ain't nothing more, nothing less. Hebrews 3:13. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. And it's easy for sin to trap you up. And I believe it's in the book of Sirach. Let me get this. It's not meant to be too long, just it was in my spirit to want to talk about this. Sirach 5. And this is scary when I read it. I'm like, the Lord will kill you if you crosses the lines when it comes to sinning. Sirach 5 and 5, concerning propitiation, and I'm not laughing as in like, oh, there's nothing serious. No, this is very serious. It's scary. Because we know that the Lord is real. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin, and say not his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation rest upon sinners. So the Lord, he's already tallied up who he wants to completely eradicate. And if you're in the truth, being an Israelite, knowing who you are, your descendants, who your forefathers are, and you decide to say, nah, I'm not interested in none of that stuff, you only mock yourself. Make no tearing to turn to the Lord. That includes myself. Make no tearing to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. I have no interest in that. I know Akim don't. Anybody in Israel that's rational, that knows what's going on, that's truly sincere in their walk towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we all want to be on the right hand side. Psalms 91, be under the shadow of the Almighty, so we can hide under his wings, because this whole world is going to get clean slated with the judgments. And Akim, who may be feeling like there's a lot going on in their lives, like myself, all you have to do is really just read. Read, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things that are written therein, for the time is at hand. The time is at hand. Back 2,000 years ago, 2 days ago, the time wasn't at hand at that time, but now it's really speaking the prophecies. Of course, Yahweh Shai was on the scene, and he was fulfilling prophecies left and right. From Amos to Isaiah, Ezekiel, he did it all. And now, whomever the elect are, they have to do their part. We don't know who the elect are, but it's promised and a guarantee for those people that are the elect to receive salvation. And Lord's will, I know Akim that be working extra hard, sisters that believe. All y'all got to do is your part. I got to do my part. And say, just put off away from the flesh and the things of this life, because all of it is just null and void. Like the brother, the elder, Zaquan Yawakal, he put up a video not too long ago. I think it was like probably 3 days ago. He said, the title is all labor is basically vain. Everything that we do in this life, it really just adds to nothing. If it's not of the spirit, it really is it's not that important. It's because we're in this flesh, it feels like it's important, but it's not. If it's not towards the spirit or the things of the spirit, we don't really have to consider it in any magnitude. It's very serious. Roughly paraphrasing. Because at the end of the day, it's really the Lord's will that whomever is in the spirit is going to receive salvation. That's just a known fact. If you're walking in the spirit, you're going to reap the things of the spirit. If you're walking in the flesh, you're going to reap corruption. And when you're in the highways and hedges, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, that's a very serious and heavy spiritual thing going on. Let me get this 2 Timothy 4:2, and I might just end it out here through the spirit. I got 15% battery. It's all good. Preach the word, be instant in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. We got to exhort one another, especially in these times where things are getting more demonic day by day. Yo, it's already June 1st. I didn't even know it was June 1st. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, really? It's June 1st? Damn. And shout out to Nate. This guy Nate, what he says, it's June. It's June. Nate. And I haven't seen his documentary. I haven't seen it yet. I'm actually gonna watch it right after this. What you gonna call it? Um, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. It's either ISUPK or IUIC. Whomever the two groups are, they said that they don't go out into the highways and hedges in the winter. They don't do that at all. Like it's too cold for them. They can't handle it. They're they're very sensitive to the elements. Of course, there's a time and place when it comes to dealing with the elements, but it's not an excuse. Oh, it's too cold or it's too hot. Kinda, these days are flying by fast. Exactly. And they're only getting faster. And we already know why that is. Matthew 24 talks about it. Yahweh Shai said it. For the elect's sake, the days shall be shortened. We don't know whom the elect are, but I can confidently say that the elect are getting closer and closer to receiving salvation. Romans 9 and 28 through 29. For he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work will the Lord make upon the earth. Yeah, the Lord is going to make it a very easy work for him to completely eradicate Babylon the Great. It's only going to take 1 hour to destroy this filthy, evil society. And even prior to Esau, Edom conquering, which they didn't conquer anything, taking over North America, Central America, South America, the Caribbean islands. This was a beautiful landmass. It was full of trees, full of livestock, so many different minerals and different precious ointments and gems. Unfortunately, particularly here in Babylon, the Great, North America, it's going to be eradicated and has turned into a desert. And it's going to be a very easy work for the Lord to do it. And as Isaiah said before, except the Lord of Sabbath had left us a seed, we would have been as Sodom and been like unto Gomorrah. That's how the Lord is. The Lord is cold when it comes to how he wants to preserve his saints. And we know the saints are the Israelites, but the true saints are those who are predestined and guaranteed to receive salvation. And whomever they are, they need the exhortation, they need the comfort, they need the words of the Lord. Because that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Not myself, not what my struggles are. It's all needs to be put aside and let the Lord and the Spirit flourish. Let righteousness reign and let Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and his message and what his duty and his will be forever magnified. That's really what it comes down to. Nothing else. And that's why we gotta preach this word, and Lord's will I'll be able to do that tomorrow morning. So it's June 1st and you already see all abomin this abomination of a month. Y'all already know. I don't have to go into it. But that's all I really have to say through the Spirit. I'm going to say, call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And once again, Adawan Ratazak, I'll be out there in the highways and hedges tomorrow morning. It's 11 p.m. All you Akim, few sisters, Shalom. Have a Tawabi Layala.